Live from New York.
No,
It's Saturday night.
no, it's actually Thursday night, and we're not in New York.
Nope. Where are we? Tell the people.
We're in Appalachia.
Appalachia.
I like Appalachia because it's like an Appalachia. It's always that's the way I
Like
remembered it
music.
as a kid. It's like Appalachia. That's how I remembered it.
Young Jim. Teacher, what's that mountain range called?
Okay, so as we
Where are the
move,
Wendigos from?
are the Wendigos real, teacher? Actually, my teacher would have known. She was awesome. At least one of them was. My first and second grade teachers are really cool.
I
But
was going to say, the way you said that sounded like you were brought up in a
one-room schoolhouse,
My
yeah,
teacher was great, I'll tell you.
from first through seventh grade. Yes. Yes, and by the way, yeah, we're doing a podcast here, guys. I just thought we should maybe mention that. This is,
Welcome back.
I believe that this is the Old Warlock podcast number 25, maybe, or maybe even higher than that. For those of you who are listening to this, Alexander just let loose with the balloons thing here on Discord. Interesting other fact about the podcast, though, I was looking at it earlier. We've had over 3,000 downloads of the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, just crossed that line, just crossed the 3,000 mark. So not bad for our
Joe Rogan,
Sad-
here we come.
not bad for our sad little pathetic corner of podcast world.
Hey, no, and that's not taking the YouTube views into account. So.
No, this is just
You know what?
straight. This is just straight podcast downloads. So,
Cool.
You know,
I'll take that.
another 20 years or so, you know, we might cross the 10,000 downloads mark. You never know.
But you know what? I don't think we deserve that credit. It's you, the people, that deserve that credit. So thank you for getting us to this point.
Oh yeah, I mean, we appreciate everybody, and we
Yeah.
do get a fair few comments on the podcast and things. So, in fact, one of the things I want to talk about in this particular podcast is something that was sent to us from a guy by the name of Glenn Hunt. He lives in the United Kingdom, and he's kind of been following the channel, as near as I can tell, for at least a year or two. And he sent us something that's actually really cool. And he said, hey, if you guys are interested in using this in your game, go ahead. Or if you want to use it on your podcast or anywhere, just feel free to do it. It's something he developed back in the 1990s.
haven't seen this. What is it?
Well, it goes with the deck of many things. Deck of contradiction. It goes with the deck of many things,
I did
which is
see that. Yeah.
yeah. He sent it a while back, and this is the first time we've actually had the chance to talk about it. But that's kind of a cool thing. But we'll get to that in a little while. What else has been going on? Have you been? You really haven't been doing anything. You've just been working. I've been having all the fun.
I know you've been gaming. I was talking to Mom. You've been gaming like 4 nights a week at this point.
Oh
Going
no,
down to the local
no,
game
I'm not
stores.
gaming 4 nights a week. That's your mother.
Okay, at least 2. At least 2. You've been going down and gaming.
Well, I'm gaming definitely 1 night a week, but occasionally I'm doing some other games as well, but not every week.
Yeah.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that.
It's a hit and miss thing. No, he's been Mr. Jim here has been doing all kinds of gaming.
What you eating there, dude? What are you eating there, dude?
Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kid. Yeah, great. Just great.
You want one?
Yes, but I don't get to have them.
You don't get to have them? Well,
I do not get
first
to eat
and
them.
foremost, I'm about 50 miles away from you. Secondly,
You don't care.
go ahead. Of course I care.
You
I'm
don't.
just talking about the spatial constraint more than anything.
Yeah, but if you had them here, you wouldn't be offering because you love Sour Patch Kids. You always have, and there's no way you would give me any. You never have. I used to have to sneak. I used to have to sneak them out of your room at night. I'd sneak in there after you were asleep when you were little, and I'd take half the Sour Patch Kids because I knew you couldn't count.
You were the Sour Patch demon.
Well, but you couldn't count above 5, so I figured if I just left 5 in there, it'd be fine.
Couldn't? Just past tense?
Well,
Let's try present tense.
I was sneaking in and taking them when you were like 16, 17 years old. So, you know. Anyway, yes,
Anyway.
I have been doing gaming. We talked about this a little bit, I think, on the last podcast as well. I have been doing Shadow Dark every Tuesday with Drew and Gene and a couple of other people that I'm not going to mention any other names because I don't know if they would want me to mention their names. But it's a really good group, really good group of people. We're doing a lot of It's basically pretty much all dungeon crawl, but we're slowly starting to branch out into. I think I need to buy a building and open a shop. And I've been trying to figure out a way. I'm playing a wizard, and I have a diminution spell or a diminution spell, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And I'm trying to find a way to make it a spell that I can cast and then do a permanence on it, because I'm coming across all these monsters that I'm shrinking up into little tiny people and then killing them. And I want to be able to put them into glass bottles.
I was going to say you should keep them and then sell them.
Well, I'm not selling them. I'm going to open up like a Ripley's Believe It or Not type place for people to come in and pay money to be able to look at these. And I figure, this is a cash cow. If I get to a big enough city, and I have, I've purchased a building, and I have all these little thingies that I've been coming across. Mm-hmm. Heck, people pay some good money to come in and see that stuff.
That's a good idea.
That's my goal. That's my goal right now.
I think it'd be fun.
It's fun.
Oh, but I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff with that, because you could sell them for parts.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
You have like a basilisk or something that you wanted to shrink
Yes.
down, and then someone needed the poison or something, you could sell it to them that way.
Yeah.
You could sell them to assassins.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just wake up and there's an owlbear in the room.
Well,
that could be pretty cool.
And that's the thing. I have a feeling that there's got to be some ways to manipulate this. You know me. There's got to be some ways to use this spell to better effect.
Kill the rest of your. Oh, sorry.
No, well, shh. They might be listening. I think Drew does.
Gene.
I think Drew does listen to the podcast. So I don't want to give my game away here. But no, I think that there's a lot that I don't often play a wizard. And
well, you don't often play a character.
That's
pretty
very true.
rare for you to. Actually, I mean, you and I haven't played characters together since.
Oh, geez, that's been like 2 years, hasn't it?
It's been longer than that. I think the last time was when. Was it during the City of Brass campaign we did?
Maybe.
And that was 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago.
Has it been that long? Jeez.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think that was when I was just starting.
Senior in high school, yeah, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time,
Anyway.
but it's been interesting to play this wizard, because I'm getting to. I've just reached 3rd level, which in Shadow Dark is actually doing pretty good. But I'm starting to see all of the capacities for these different spells and how they can be used outside of their standard trope. I want to be able to say, well, yeah, this can do this with this spell, but what if we did this and this and this? And then, this spell would make it even more fun. So anyway, that's where I'm doing.
Have you thought about taking, for any long-time listeners, you'll probably know that we have always had issues with the way Magic users are run in AD&D, and one of the great quests of our homebrew is to figure out the most effective way to have wizards have some power in the early stages of the game in particular. Have you thought about taking anything from Shadow Dark and dropping it in to your world in terms of how Magic users and wizards function?
Actually, no, because Shadow Dark is pretty well balanced. And there's really not much that I could end up taking out of it to bring into my campaign, which would not disrupt fighters and thieves and whatever else. There's just nothing there. I mean, I know what you're saying, but I just haven't seen that particular thing come through from Shadow Dark that I could steal.
Surely.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing on Tuesday. And then last Wednesday, I went down and played Blood and Plunder.
This is his latest obsession.
And man, that was fun. CJ, he runs a game store locally here, he sent me a text and said, hey, I know that you're wanting to learn this. How about you come down and we'll run through it? And so all we did was we had basically a skirmish on a beach there was a bunch of palm trees, and there was a building kind of separating us, and I was running a bunch of Spanish soldiers, some Spanish militia, and he was running the English, and we were evenly matched, and then we just got into this big battle on the beach, and man, it was fun. It was a really good time. And I really like the rule set for Blood and Plunder. so far.
Well, explain the game to the people who haven't heard of it, because I had never heard of Blood and Plunder before you mentioned it, or before Mom mentioned it.
Sure.
Actually, it was something you were going and playing.
No, I get it. And Blood and Plunder it's another one of these 28 millimeter war games. Mm-hmm. But the thing is with Blood and Plunder is it's set up in the age of piracy. So it's either 16th, 17th century or 17th, 18th century. There are two different kind of eras that they've got manuals out for. Mm-hmm. And what you do is you choose one of the factions. You can be pirates, you can be the Spanish, you can be the British, you can be the Dutch. I think there are a couple of others that you could be as well, but I'm not exactly sure. But with Blood and Plunder, you not only do combat on land, you also do combat on ships. And so, and the ships you can have a ship anywhere from a bark or a canoe all the way up to a galleon, a frigate and a galleon, and even a ship of the line, I think, if you want to. And you have your 28 millimeter figures and you pack them onto your ships and you go at it. There's rules for boarding. There's rules for sniping from the rigging. It's really cool.
Well, and these ships, they're small, right? They're not to the same scale as the 28 millimeter figures.
I wouldn't say that they're actually the right size, but they're not far off. I mean, CJ showed me, I think it was a galleon that he was working on. And that bad Larry is probably a good, 20 inches long. And so if you're playing with 28 millimeter miniatures, you're kind of getting there. Well, that ship was easily that long.
Yeah.
And
wow.
There are limitations, of course, but
sure,
still, it's really cool. So I had to go and buy the 2-person starter set for Blood and Plunder, I had to. CJ took the time to show me the stuff.
Of course.
And so I felt obligated to go and buy. Yeah. I didn't want to. I felt obligated to buy it on his behalf. Sure. But it comes with 2 sloops, which are, fairly small ships. 2 sloops, enough pirates or enough sailors to have two crews. It's a dumb game. I hate this game. It is so stupid.
I don't want to play with pirate ships.
Not at all. What a stupid thing to be doing. But no, it really does look cool. And we're going to do, I haven't opened that box. I want to do an unboxing for the folks on the regular YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't even know what's in it at this point. Aside from reading what it says it's in the box, I want to open this thing up and share it with our YouTube channel friends.
Well, I'm excited for that, and I really want to play it. I think that sounds.
Oh yeah, you've got to play this. You've got to.
Oh, absolutely. But ever since when you and I first started talking about it, I was looking it up and trying to read about what it was and what it all looked like. Mm-hmm. And the thing it reminded me of more than anything is the old Imaginext Pirates stuff.
Oh my God, you're right. It really does now that you think about it.
That was immediately what shot into mind. And if any of you who are listening are around my age or have kids that are around my age, those toys were everywhere. The Imaginext things. Those were our favorite things that we had.
The cool Imaginext, the very first Imaginext were awesome. Then they kind of got to a Fisher-Price-y look where they started to distort them and stuff. But those early ones with the pirate ship and stuff, those guys were great.
Well, and there were a couple of just big pirate ships that you could get.
Well, you've got
have little sea battles. Yeah,
you've got the pirate ship. I think your brother had the volcanic island. Do you remember that? Yeah. And you would push down. Yeah, and you'd push down the lava pool in the middle of the volcano, and then you'd push a button and it'd explode the things all over the place. It was so cool. It is so cool. Yeah. We still have it, of course, but I can see how that would have been the first thing that came to mind.
I was like, oh my God, this is like the adult version of the toys that I played with when I was a kid. You've
nailed it.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'm just really excited to play it. It looks like a fun game.
Yeah, I think I really had a good time with that, and I didn't actually do a sea combat with CJ. he's going to get a hold of me sometime in April so I can drive over and do some sea combat so that he can show me the intricacies of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to that. But, and then the other thing I'm doing is every Thursday afternoon, most Thursday afternoons, most Thursdays,
Yeah.
That's when I hit Saga with Gene.
Oh, you and Gene just play?
Yeah.
Saga?
Yep. In fact, we played a game today. And it was all about...
That's something I want to do more of.
You need to get into this. It's once you've played a few games and the rules become second nature, it's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And today we just had 2 Viking armies, not armies really. They were just small groups of Vikings that were trying to gain control of a pile of plunder in the middle of the table. And yeah, I mean I think the whole game lasted maybe an hour and 15 minutes, but it was really fun. Gene usually cleans my clock in this game.
Really?
Just about every time, yeah.
Good for Gene.
Yeah, he's doing really well. And he went and he just bought a bunch of figures for it.
Well, I remember you told me that, yeah.
Yeah, he's starting to really get into it. So, yeah, he's pretty fired up to play it. And then your brother, he bought me a bunch of miniatures from a company called Perry, Perry Miniatures. And those are... The ones that he's been purchasing for me are from the era of Agincourt, 100 Years' War, things like that. I just finished a slew of the mounted knights from those sets, and so the next thing is like, okay, I've got to start playing this other game. There's another one called Lion Rampant that's put out by Osprey Games, and it concerns itself more with that later medieval warfare, as near as I can tell. Yeah. But I'm looking now for, okay, where are the rules for scaling walls and using battering rams and things like that. I'm sure they're out there. I've just got to find them or make up my own.
So lame.
Dumb thing to be doing. It's just...
It's honestly a waste of time.
It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of everybody's time. It's just... And it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, that sounds like a lot of fun. And I just the one time we played Saga, I really do get how people can get so into the miniatures. I mean, just that little, even just the painting side, those little Warhammer guys, you got me.
It's
therapeutic.
Great. It's therapeutic. Exactly.
Therapeutic.
It's therapeutic.
It is quite pleasant to do.
There's
a guy that I work with who is, he got a different job, and so he's leaving, and he plays Warhammer. And as a going away gift, one of the other people that I work with is going to take a little Warhammer figurine and paint it in the parks colors.
Oh no, that's funny.
That we work for.
That is awesome.
Give that to him. I really hope it actually comes to fruition, and I'm going to take a photograph of it if it does, because I want everyone to be able to see that. Because it's a great idea.
That is a really cool idea. That's fun stuff.
I think it's going to be fun.
And then this Saturday, I am going to... Drew he asked me if I could join in on a game of Bladeunner, which is it's another RPG. And I don't know if I never had you watch Bladeunner back.
I've never seen Bladeunner.
The original starred Harrison Ford, and I want to say it came out in the 80s, early 80s. And it was kind of it was all science fiction. It's all set in, I want to say it's like set in 2019 or something. But it is
like dark sci-fi.
Very, very dark, gritty sci-fi. Raining all the time type sci-fi. Yeah. And the Blade Runners, it's been so long since I've seen that movie. Blade Runners are going around trying to find these synthetic humans. It's kind of like Fallout 4. They're trying to find these synthetic humans that can pass themselves off as humans and are slowly kind of infiltrating it, or at least they think that they're slowly infiltrating into regular human society and causing problems. So I'm excited to see how that ends up playing out.
No, that sounds fun.
I'm looking forward to that. And then there's another game that I would love to join in, but I just don't have the time to do it. And I don't even know if they have any spots at the table. Down at the game store in Cheyenne, they are running a Fallout campaign, a Fallout RPG campaign. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a Fallout
and
RPG.
I have heard a little bit about it, but I haven't investigated it too deeply. And I'm even thinking about maybe picking up a copy of it because, and I think it's fairly recent, but I would love to give it a try.
I mean, because I know I remember there's a board game. There's a Fallout board game that you can get and play, but I had no idea that there was an RPG. And I feel like that would be one where if you were a creative DM, you could really come up with some cool stuff. People go and do.
I think that it could be pretty one-dimensional if you weren't creative with it. You know, I mean, if you were just, well, I just want to recreate my Fallout game that I played 4 years ago, that would be one thing. But to take it and move it beyond the boundaries of what the game has and really push it into, you know, okay, I'm going to recreate the state of Wisconsin, you know, in Fallout and, you know, reestablish it. And, you know, I think there's a lot you could end up doing with it.
Oh, absolutely.
But part of me is saying that you'd really have to apply yourself to making it more than just a recreation of the video game.
Well, that's always my concern with I don't even know how you would characterize it. Like, with the like universe-centric RPGs, it's like Fallout or Blade Runner or something like that. It does seem like they would be very one-sided, and with certain universes, there's only so much you could really go and do, say, in like the Blade Runner universe, or I don't know, another example is escaping me.
No, but I think you're right. Yeah.
Or like the Walking Dead one that we played.
Okay, same thing. Same thing.
You're kind of limited in terms of, I mean, the showrunners couldn't figure out anything unique or new to do with that. Right. You can only kill zombies for so long. But the Fallout one, that could be cool. The other one that I know I really want to play is, I know there's an Alien RPG.
Yes, I've heard of that too.
That's been put together. And if there's ever an opportunity to play that, I would love to play that. I think that would be one where it would be pretty one-sided. You're not really going to be able to come up think with too much in that universe.
I don't know,
love
though.
Those movies so much.
But I think that there is. You're right. It's got guardrails on it because it's already inside of a developed campaign-ish thing, you know, and developed in, you know, the movie is here and you play inside the movie. But I think with the Alien one, if you started going to other planets and you had a creative game master, or you were a creative game master, you could come up with all kinds of creatures and alien colonies and, you know, things for you to go and explore and figure out. You would just have to take it beyond the Space Marine / alien thing. Game over, man. But I think that there is an opportunity for that. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it just boils down to the creativity of the people playing the game. But the Fallout thing, I think that could be, it could be fun just to play your favorite, you know, New Vegas or whatever. Yeah. But it could also be fun just to blow the doors off of it and get out and start saying, okay, you know, let's figure out what might have been happening in Bogota, you know, or, you know, Mexico City or something. And the cool thing about it is that, and it's the thing that I always loved about Fallout. When I first started watching you play it, you were in Boston, and I'm watching it. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Oh my God, this is actually Boston, you know? And to me, so my point being, to find a setting for you to go and take your guy in power armor and explore, all you got to do is get on Google Maps and download something and you're off to the races. So, you know, in terms of the development of the game, there's no end of that if you're willing to go out and push it beyond the normal boundaries. I think it could be a lot of fun. All right.
I think it could be too.
I guess we've talked ourselves into it. I'm going to have to go buy that.
I think you should.
I really think I should.
Speaking along the Fallout theme, though, one more quick thing. You've watched the show. I have not watched the show.
Oh my God! What have you been doing?
I know. I really do need to watch it.
You've got to watch it because I think the second season is coming out in the next couple of months.
Well, they're filming it, and that's what I was going to ask you about because somebody leaked some photos from the filming process.
Right.
It's all going to be set in New Vegas. They've rebuilt.
I heard that.
You see in the game. It is just too cool, and you should play Fallout New Vegas.
You're right. You're right.
the show comes out, because that's one of the best video games ever. It's fantastic.
That's what
And
I've heard. And
if you like Fallout 4, you would love New Vegas.
you know how I am with Fallout 4. It is my favorite. It's my favorite
yeah.
video game ever. And I still just be if I'm having a bad day, it's like, well, I got to go see what's happening in Fallout. I got to go spruce some things up around my base, and I got to go take out a few of the mutants. It's still just kind of I don't know. It's almost like instead of playing Angry Birds, it's my modern Angry Birds thing.
It's a very escapist game, because
the
worlds are they're so cool.
And you're in it when you're, at least I always was. When I was playing, it was like, oh my God, I'm actually in this thing. And
oh yeah,
did you ever play the virtual reality one that Zachary had?
I tried it. Yeah, but I can never do those virtual reality ports of games where you're like walking around doing stuff, because I get motion sick. So I can't go too far down that road.
I forced myself into that one, and I went from the starting base down to which is not very far, down to Lexington and Concord. And I forced myself to do it because I was getting the same way. I was starting to get sick. But I was like, oh my gosh, I am walking through Fallout 4. It was so cool. It was so. I just wish that I wasn't such a wimp when it comes to motion sickness.
I remember I got to the point in that one. I think I played up through when the first Death Claw pops out after you go through the museum, and when it does, like, oh my God, Jesus Christ! It was so much fun, though. I mean, it is. I would love to keep doing that at some point.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, that does it. I'll have to go and pick up a copy of Fallout 4. And there's a lot of stuff that came out with it, too. And I want to say, I could be wrong on this, I want to say that they've got minifigures for it as well. And if I could pick myself up my guy in power armor, or, whatever. It's, I do, like we've told you guys before, in RPGs, we very rarely play with minis. I might have to make an exception with that.
Well, I think that could just be fun.
Or just putting it on a shelf, for it. Like, just look what I painted.
It around somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. No, that'd be a really fun game to play. I'd love to do that at some point.
Anyway,
there's just too many games.
There is
games out there.
Too many games, not enough time.
Not enough time.
That's really where we are. How long have we been talking here? Oh my goodness, 32 minutes. We still got time. What else has been going on? And so you just haven't had the chance to play any games, which is really sad.
I haven't had the chance to play any games at all. It's been a while. We need to do some D&D playing.
Yes, I know. I think I'm going to push Bill and the guys to actually play in my campaign here the next time we play. So we've got to get some stuff wrapped up there. Did I tell you we also played a game called Camel Up? The last time we played board games. Camel Up.
That sounds like it's right up Bill's alley.
It was one of Calvin's games, and it's about
a King Arthur.
No, not Camelot. Camel Up. Camel.
See, I thought it was a play on words, though.
No, this was a camel race game, which was a hoot. And you're not racing the camel, you are betting on which camel's going to win, and you're doing all kinds of tricks to make certain camels win or not. That was a lot of fun.
That's a fun game.
Then my buddy Junior, he had us over to his place, me and Gene and Bill, to play Dinogenics again. And so that
fun one.
that is a really fun game. So yeah, we've also been doing that, but. Anyway,
been a lot of board games recently. We haven't done much D&D since before Christmas.
I know, and we've got to get back on track because things are fading from memory, and so yeah, we've got to get back into that.
That campaign is so cool. I need to finish that one. I need to, or at least go until my character dies.
You're talking about the one in the repurposed tomb.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying that one. That's I'm kind of proud of that one.
It is high fantasy at its finest.
Well, and there's, like we've talked about it before, there's a lot going on there that you guys you've either got to figure out how to stop it, or you've got to find yourself a big, deep shelter because it's gonna go from bad to worse.
Yep. And then we need to. That's the priority, but I also want to play more of the what's it called?
Gamma
Not
World.
Metamorphosis Alpha.
Gamma World.
Oh yeah, we need to.
I'm waiting to see how that shakes out. That's going to be funny.
How that resolves.
That's going to be a funny conclusion to that game. And I also, at the same time, I want to start in on a campaign of Metamorphosis Alpha too.
Yeah, I see the thing with Metamorphosis. I wish I didn't know what it was.
If you just were you're in a setting and you didn't realize what you were actually inside of that. Yeah,
this
you're
is the
exactly
game we're
right.
Playing. Yeah.
Yep. And then have you realize it as you go along. It's more fun that way. It really is.
It's still going to be fun. Like there's just the setting is cool, and I want to go through and experience all of that. But that would be neat to just kind of have dropped on you.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
No doubt about it.
I wanted to take a moment here to say that last podcast I said to all of you listeners out there, hey, comment down below if you think Jimberly here should watch Severance. And I just want to let everyone know how hurt I am by your complete and utter lack of support in doing that. Usually you guys have my back. When I feel like, hey, do this, I'm like, say thumbs up, Jim, in the comments. Y'all type, hey, thumbs up, Jim, in the comments. Nothing. There was like one guy. He's like, yeah, great show. Everyone else like, never heard of it.
Or they didn't like it.
Things to do. Or they didn't like it. Come on, people.
What
are we doing here?
And some of them may have even liked it, but just the fact that you were trying to force me to watch it.
Trying to hurt me. You have been on this ride with us for like 6 years at this point, and this is how you. I
think you just need to realize that I'm the popular one and you're the unpopular one. I mean,
when we get down to it, I think that is true.
But the thing is,
you're the main character. I'm the supporting cast.
But at the end of the day, you're actually the nice guy, and I'm not. So. Anyway.
Oh goodness! I just had to throw that out there.
No, I was going to mention it at the end of the podcast. Just thanks, guys, for not forcing me to go and watch people walking down hallways for a long period of time.
It's such a good show. It's so good. I need to start a podcast with Mom so she and I can just talk.
There you go. You should. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Television shows we like, or movies we like.
Jennifer and Alexander. And we're just like.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. Anything else before we move on to this document that Glenn Hunt sent us? Because it's pretty cool.
Let's do it.
All right. And again, I want to thank Glenn for sending this. And
thank you.
I'm going to contact him I'm going to send him an email as well. But I want to just read what he sent to me to describe because I think that this came out either from. He'd either been looking at the Deck of Contradiction, which we created, or he was listening to or watching our video about the Deck of Many Things. And he sent something that says, hi, Jim, in the late 1990s, I created my own version of the Deck of Many Things. In my version, not only do you have the normal major arcana, but you also use the minor tarot cards as minor arcana. The way he played it, if it was found there was a magical geas activated, causing all party members to draw 7 cards. The major arcana worked as normal, so the regular Deck of Many Things worked as normal, but the minor arcana cards activated in 1d50 days, which I really, really like, that you wouldn't even have the thing kick off for up to almost 2 months. The minor arcana are roughly 50-50 in good bad, with some that can be deemed either. I hope you find this interesting, and maybe even you can maybe you can use it in your campaign. I'm sure your players would enjoy the item, but especially you as the DM of Mischief, perhaps it would make your world.
There's an understatement for you.
It would make your world even more fun. And if you want to make a podcast about it, please do so. So thank you to Glenn for sending this. And I don't think we have time to go through all of them, but I'm going to go over quite a few of what he has, quite a few of the different minor arcana cards that he has created here, because there's some really neat stuff in here. Yeah. It's kind of like in a way, this is like some of these are like the curse video we did for the Patreon people. That was just posted. I get the same kind of vibe off of some of these. So here we go. Deck of Many Things, minor arcana. Ace of Cups. So this is kind of where it goes. You receive a magical weapon, random magical weapon. Great.
Cool. Great.
Two of Cups, all your magical potions disappear forever. Okay. Three of Cups. The next 1d4 creatures you fight will be killed with the first blow. However, instantly, this summons an outer planar creature to replace the slain victim. The creature will be angry and attack you instantly. But if you played this card right, if you knew what was going to happen, you could go fight something pretty powerful. And then you might end up with the power to handle the outer planar creature. I think this is actually pretty cool.
That's a good point. Actually,
it's all about how you use these things. To me, that's what this is all about.
No, I mean, you go fight 4 dragons and then muddle your way through the consequences. That's a good point. I mean, that could be fun.
It's just strategic use of it. Yeah.
Strategery.
And I'm not, again, like I said, I'm not reading all of these. This one was kind of an interesting one. You gain a spell book like one of the following, and then there's a percentage table. You could get a book of infinite spells, it's just an ordinary spell book with that belonged to an 8th level wizard. That could be a pretty good item to find. Yeah. And then also a unique spell book, which the DM could come up with. Mm-hmm. This one's 7 of Cups. For the next 1d6 days during combat, you will always miss your intended target on every even combat round. However, on odd combat rounds, combat is normal and you need to roll a successful hit to see what will happen. And again, this is one of those things that I would like to see happen without the person knowing what's triggering it.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like that would be a better curse than it would be hard.
That's a really good point. That's a good point. That would be an excellent curse. I mean, but I guess that's what this card is doing, is it's making casting this curse on you.
But I agree. If it was a secret, I think that could be really funny.
Yeah, it would be funny.
Roll the 20. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. You felt like you were really going to connect that time. But the 9 of Cups. You wake up to find that you have been captured and taken from your colleagues by an old adversary. You will be used to trap your colleagues. I really like that.
Love that. No, I love that.
Yeah, I think
fun.
That's a neat thing.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. This one is interesting. And I mean, I know that people would be angry about this one, but at the same time, it could form the basis for an actual, almost a mini campaign within your major campaign. This is the Page of Cups. Once this card comes into effect, after 20 successful hits with your major magical weapon, it will lose 1 magical plus. So from a +4 to a +3. This will happen again after another 10 successful hits and will continue to happen until there are no magical pluses left, making it a non-magical weapon. However, this can be stopped by a remove curse or wish spell. I think that this could be something where the weapon would have to be so special and unique that you would be desperate to find a way to stop this curse. Yeah. And so, I would want the players to know that this was something, that this curse had been put upon this weapon, so that they would have to stop using it and then go figure out a way to overcome that curse. I think that there's a lot of potential in that.
No, I think that could be a lot of fun. And I mean, it would, like you say, force them to only use it in the most dire of circumstances.
Right, exactly.
They're fighting something awful, and so they have to use this thing.
And it's gonna and it damages it. No, I'm with you on that. I think that would be to force them into, all right, it's time, as opposed to just wailing with your Vorpal all the time. I can't risk doing this. I think there's a lot of potential for that.
Yeah, that's a neat one.
Then just a couple of others that are, they're minor, but they're good, because I don't want to give the impression that these are all bad. The Knight of Cups, the next 1d4 potions you consume do double their normal effect. Great. Queen of Cups, all healing spells cast upon you do double the amount of healing points received.
Sweet.
And this happens for the next 1d8 time that spell is used.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The King of Cups, you will wake up with your voice gone. This will mean any spell requiring verbal components cannot be used until your voice returns. That could be fun. I like that one.
And with that, you'd have to make sure that the player wasn't talking either.
Right.
That they would have to be quiet.
Right. Yeah. Then we move on to the Pentacles, Minor Arcana. Ace of Pentacles. One of your weapons will disintegrate after 3 combat rounds. Yeah, that could be.
All right.
That could be a.
That's player leaves the table.
That would ruin your day. That would
ruin your week.
Yes, it would. Now this one I actually really like. The 2 of Pentacles. Every morning for the next 1d4 days, and I might even go longer than that, a magical potion will appear in your possession. So you wake up, you roll over and look, and there's a potion sitting there. Mm-hmm. And it says roll randomly from the Dungeon Master's Guide to determine the potion received. I think that's all fine and well and good, but I would just want to make sure that the player did not know what that potion was.
Oh yeah.
And I would probably bump it up from 1d4 days to 1d10 days, because it would be very disconcerting. Yeah. To have these random potions appearing and you have no clue what they are, and they can't be identified either. So you've got the blue one, the green one, the red one, the chartreuse one. What do you do with these bad Larrys? I think that there could be so much in that one. I think that's really good.
That could be a lot of fun.
The 3 of Pentacles, after 1d6 rounds of combat, you become ethereal. This affects everything that you carry and hold. So unless the creatures you attack can be affected by ethereal items, then any attack you make will cause no damage. I think that one could be really interesting too, because if it just happened at the wrong time.
Oh yeah.
Just, okay guys, let's go. And then you fight 6 rounds and then you disappear. I really enjoy that one.
What happened? Oh man.
The 4 of Pentacles. An ally in your struggles will turn against you and will do anything to oppose you in what you are doing. This enmity between you will continue until you or him have been killed.
I think that's great, but give it to a player character.
No, yeah.
Don't give it to an NPC.
Not an NPC.
Table.
Somebody else at the table.
But I think that's another one that would also be a good curse. If you weren't told, but a piece of paper gets passed onto the table.
Time for you to kill so and so. Okay,
you have to try and kill this person now, and you can do it at whatever pace you want.
Yeah,
but this is your new. Oh, that could be good.
I think that's a really good one.
I can see that if that happened to some of the people we would play with, they would attack you.
Oh, sure.
Like if you gave them that.
If I gave them that, yeah, they would be like, all right, that's it. And they'd get the sharpened pencil and come after me.
Yeah. That would be bad.
5 of Pentacles, you gain the ability of infravision for 30 feet. And since we don't do infravision, I think that would actually be a really positive thing to suddenly have.
Yeah.
This one's kind of fun. During your next combat situation, after 3 combat rounds, you and your allies are teleported in a random direction, a distance of 1d8 times 100 miles. I love that one. Exactly.
Love.
Yeah.
Fall in the middle of the ocean, drown.
Once teleported, all teleport spells items will not work if trying to get back to your original location or other nearby location known within 50 miles of your starting point.
Oh, man.
7 of Pentacles. Sometime during the day, the ground magically opens up and you fall into a subterranean cavern. The hole then disappears, and then there's a hungry monster that sees you and decides that it has to attack. You will have to find your own way back. That could be
great.
I like it.
Love it.
And then there's again, I'm skipping over some of the good ones that you would get.
Yeah.
I like this one, the 8 of Pentacles. If you're a thief or a warrior, you gain the ability to cast spells from scrolls without fail. As a thief or a warrior.
That could be really useful.
Let me scroll down here a bit. I like this one. The Page of Pentacles. One of your magical items is in fact a holy relic, and its priesthood will do all they can to recover this item back to its original location. The DM will determine what the item is and how the priesthood react. I think that one could be great, and we've kind of toyed around with those ideas in the past. I really like that.
That could be fun.
Have a bunch of psychotic holy men tracking you down, trying to find you, and you don't really know why.
Yeah, going on a pilgrimage, and you're like, what do you want?
Well, yeah, what'd I do? The Knight of Pentacles, all goods bought will shortly break, spoil, or otherwise be useless. If you go back to the trader, he's no longer there and is replaced by a different trader instead. I like that. Let's move on to the next page.
These are great.
Yeah, they're really creative. They're a lot of fun. And again, if I was reading all of them, you'd see that there is kind of a mix. It's kind of a 50-50 mix of good and bad.
Yeah.
Ace of Swords, from this day onward and for the next 1d10 days, all saving throws versus spell will automatically work, but all other saving throws will fail. This one, if used strategically, could be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Two of Swords, from this day onward, you will have an uncontrollable fear of a monster you have already encountered once before. I think that's really good.
That's a good one.
The next one. The next creature who successfully hits you in a melee attack will also lose an energy level, which is transferred to you permanently. So that's a pretty good one.
Good Lord.
The Four of Swords, for the next 1d20 combat situations, your first attack will automatically hit doing maximum damage, but in the next attack roll you will fumble your weapon and it will take 1d3 rounds to recover. If you use another weapon, this is also fumbled. This will continue until the original weapon is recovered. Lot of fun potential for that one.
That one could be that could be used well strategically, but
yes, well,
if you thought it was being used strategically, it could go really poorly if you didn't think it through well enough.
That's very true. I might end up doing this and taking this concept and actually putting it on a cursed weapon. And
yeah, that'd be good.
And then if you gave that weapon to somebody else or got them to accept it or steal it from you or whatever, and then it would be basically a weapon of fumbling. That's a good strategic. There's a good strategic play available for that one.
That alternatively was very powerful.
Yes.
You knew you had a hit, and then you were just in trouble for 3 rounds.
Right.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool. Seven of Swords. In a combat situation that is going badly, you have the ability to go back in time to the beginning of that combat situation, but retain all knowledge of the previous situation, so you know all of the creature's attacks and maneuvers. That's kind of cool.
No, I dig that.
This one, you wake up to see all your coins in your possession rise up into the sky to be lost forever. All coins in a bag of holding, etc., are not affected. I'm going to be using some of these.
I would kill.
You'd be upset. This is nice. Ten of Swords. The card is the Ten of Swords. Your main bladed weapon becomes a Vorpal weapon.
Sweet. I think it should just be your main weapon, not just bladed weapon. So if you have a bow staff.
Oh, yeah, that's the bow staff.
Vorpal bow. People's heads off.
Snick, snack, snick, snack. Let's see. And there's things like gaining weapon proficiencies, and you gain the ability to blink like the spell, but without any spell components. This allows you to do this once per day, but you must maintain concentration while using this ability. That would be a pretty cool ability to have.
Yeah.
And this is something very similar to what we had in the Deck of Contradiction. The King of Swords. The next town or city you travel to, you are wanted for a crime and a reward for your capture has been made. Within 1d4 plus 2 turns, the authorities have sent a patrol of guards to arrest you and your companions. It's very much like the Deck of Contradiction cards.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I like that a lot.
Okay, so last page here. And this is kind of similar. At the beginning of the day, 1d6 worth of scrolls will appear in your backpack. These scrolls will be usable by you. I would make it so that you didn't know what they were until you got them out and decided you wanted to use it and opened it up to use it.
Yeah.
But I do like that. The next Two of Wands, the next 1d6 offensive spells you cast will have this desired effect, but will also rebound and do the same to you. Let's see. Scroll spell. Your weapon, 8 of Wands. Your weapon arm is paralyzed for 1d6 days.
That's a bad one.
This is interesting. The 9 of Wands. You meet a stranger during the day. He will know your name and says he has something for you. He then gives you a backpack, then walks away. If you try to follow him, he just vanishes. Inside the backpack is a bag of holding containing 4,500 gold pieces and a map. That would drive my players crazy because they would be terrified of that map.
I would immediately follow the map.
Everybody else would be like, I don't know if we should do that. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Oh no, I would be frightened, but I would make everyone follow. I mean, come on, how cool is that?
Oh, exactly. To me, that's a really neat thing.
No, that's awesome.
The last two. The Queen of Wands. Every spell you cast will cause a wild magic surge. You must consult the wild surge table to see what happens instead of the desired effect. And then the King of Wands. During the next 1d3 days, you have to make a saving throw versus spells. If you fail, nothing happens. If you make the save, you gain a magical rod, staff, or wand from the DM's guide. It's kind of cool. Anyway,
those are good.
I really like this. I thought this was a lot of fun, and I'm going to see.
Those are really cool.
I want to see if Glenn will allow me to actually reproduce this in the newsletter. As something for people to see.
Thank you again for sending that along.
Yeah, it was really nice of him to do this. It was
a really cool thing.
Yeah.
No,
well, where are we? Oh, geez.
Neat stuff.
We are at 55 minutes. I think we're going to have to wrap this babbling up.
What? Longest ever podcast alert.
Pretty much.
You're welcome, gang.
Yeah.
Everyone say thank you down below.
Yeah.
And then tell Jim he needs to watch Severance.
The last two people are not going to matter, Alexander. They're already gone. Most everybody else is tuned out by this time.
No, let's see. It's Gene. Gene's probably still
Gene's
here.
probably there. It's probably Gene.
That might be it. So hi, Gene.
You know, our buddy Retro DM Ray, he may listen to it all the way through, but I think that's because he's in his car traveling, and so he has nothing better to do.
To while he commutes.
Exactly. So I think he may just be bored and like, I'll just listen to it all the way through to the end. Jeez, he's a good guy. I like RDMR.
So
go check out his YouTube channel if you get the chance. Retro DM Ray. Yeah, so that's our life in a nutshell right now, guys. Our gaming life in a nutshell. You got anything else before we sign off?
We could always toss out that we will be at the Cheyenne Gaming Convention in Cheyenne, Wyoming here in a couple of weeks.
Yes. April 25th, 26th, 27th, I think. I believe so.
Yes, I think so. So if you are in the Rocky Mountain region and you would like to come and say hello, please stop by. This will be the third year? Fourth year?
Third year, I think. Third year. Maybe fourth. We've been there several times.
This will be our fourth year.
And
it's a great convention.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. We always have a wonderful time there.
And yeah, this time there is a pitch car. We've talked to you guys about pitch car before. This time there is a pitch car called the Jim Cheats Pitch Car Race, because I whooped Brad last year in pitch car. We had bets going, and I beat Brad, who's the organizer of the gaming convention, and he got mad, and so now he claims that I cheat. I just play strategically, and he doesn't. So anyway, if you guys...
But if you enter in the Jim Cheats Pitch Car Race,
yes.
There's like $20 entrance fee?
I believe there is...
Or is this the other one?
No, I believe that there is a $20 entrance fee, but the winner gets a VIP badge for next year's convention. And all the proceeds are going to cancer research. So that's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. So if you are in the region and you want to come play pitch car with us, which did we make a video on pitch car?
No, we were going to, but I never got around to it. And I'm hoping to make one. I'm hoping to make one sometime this upcoming year, because my goal is to turn it into something like the Netflix series about Formula One. I would love to.
That was it. The Drive to Survive with pitch car.
I would love to do a half-hour Drive to Survive pitch car. I talked to the guy who runs it. Really great guy by the name of Travis. I kind of talked to him, and then we lost touch with each other for whatever reason, and it never ended up happening. I really want to make that happen, because it could be really funny to do that.
And absolutely. And it is. I think that we are both pretty much on the same page that it might be the most fun convention game.
Oh, I think hands down.
It is such It is such a good time. There's nothing more fun. It's simple. It is fast-paced. It's a great time.
Yeah.
So if you're in the area, come on down, play the game with us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, or play anything with us. We're doing mostly board games. In fact, we are not doing any RPGs this year. We were only doing board games. But if you see us at the convention, please come say hi. We will get you to sign our autograph book. That's what we do whenever somebody recognizes us, because that's how we are. So yeah, please go to the Cheyenne Gaming Convention, and then keep an eye out for us going to some other conventions in the Rocky Mountain region and possibly further beyond. And we'd love to meet up with you guys at one of those too. Yeah. So
no, some fun stuff.
Fun stuff coming up, and thanks for all of the support from you guys, and we really appreciate it. And also, a big thanks to when we announced that I had cancer, so many of you came out and said, no problem, buddy. You got this. Anything you need, let us know. And you have no idea how much I appreciate that.
Very, very nice things. We're up to 1,000 views on that video, so thank you all for watching that
and
saying nice stuff.
We don't want to belabor the point, but if you're over the age of 45, get yourself tested for prostate cancer, and do it now. For me, do as a favor to me. Go get that taken care of. Anyway, I am Jim.
I'm Alex.
Is that all you have to say?
That's all I ever have to say.
All right, I'm
Speaks
Jim.
for yourself.
I'm Jim.
I'm Alex.
Keep your sword on free, guys.
I'm Alex.
I'm Jim.
Bye.
Bye-bye.